this is our fourth and final video for our Oi duckbill platypus story. So let's have a quick look at the sort of answers I would have expected in your worksheets. So the word ridiculous is an adjective of causing ridicule. A synonym would be absurd. An antonym would be sensible. And you could have had any of the words that we talked about before, or a word of your own if you liked. And then using the word in a sentence, I have written, your hat looks ridiculous, teased my son. Could have said my son there, but I tried to be a bit more creative and I said teased my son. Okay, let's see if we can match these rhyming words. So melon rhymed with Ellen. Terry and cherry. Gate and Kate. Hannah. Oh, sorry, can you see this? Hannah. Right, I'll move the camera a bit. Hannah and Spanner. Sherbet and Herbert. Stella and Propeller. Jean and Bean. And what was the last one? Pear and Claire. So they are the rhyming words. I hope you got those correct. And then, did you come up with a crazy rhyme? I'm looking forward to seeing your crazy rhymes using your names, your own name or someone in your family's name. And I'm looking forward to seeing your crazy pictures. Now, we had a look at synonyms for the word said. So like we said just on that first page there, I didn't say that my son said my hat was ridiculous. I said he teased, which is a bit more of an interesting way to say the word said. So we had some suggestions here that you could have used in your sentences with the missing words, or you could have used some of your own. So I will just put in the ones that I think made sense, but you could have had different ones. So get out of my way now, shouted the boy. Or you could have had there yelled or demanded, insisted or grumbled maybe. I'm telling the truth. I did not break that window, insisted the girl. You could have also had there something like promised or begged, maybe something like that, because she's obviously really concerned that she was telling you the truth. I'm so sorry. I promise I will never do that again, pleaded the woman. You could have also had something like begged there, or insisted, or you could have had, what else could you have had there? Assured, reassured, perhaps, something like that. Please don't take away my computer, gasped the boy. Or you could have had groaned or cried, something like that there. You look absolutely beautiful, exclaimed the man. Or you could have had gushed there, or squealed, maybe he could squeal it or yell it even. That's the most amazing gift I've ever received, gushed the girl. You could have also said there something like smiled the girl, or laughed the girl, something like that, something very happy. And what on earth are you doing? I put here demanded, but you could have had shouted, yelled, groaned, grumbled, something like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing the words that you chose there and the sentence that you wrote by yourself with your synonym for said. Right, now our platypus quiz. I hope you enjoyed watching those videos because I thought they were really fun. I think platypus is so cute. So what's the plural of the word platypus? Well, when I've looked it up, it says you can just keep saying platypus. So you don't have to make it the word different. So it can be, like when you say one sheep, you don't say sheeps. You just continue to say, you could say two sheep. You don't need to add an S, so you actually don't need to make it plural. But if you want to actually change it, you can make it to platypuses. Some people say platypi, but apparently that is not correct. So it's platypus or platypuses. Now, a baby platypus, when I looked this up, I had some fabulous words. My favourite is puggle. How brilliant is that? So a baby platypus can be called a puggle, or you can just call them a baby platypus. Apparently the word puggle has been borrowed from the echidna. That's what they call a baby echidna, and they use that word now for a baby platypus. But you can actually just call it a baby platypus, or there's another word which is just absolutely gorgeous, a platypup. So what fabulous words are they? Puggle and platypup. Okay, so what is a monotreme? Well, if you watch those videos, you'll find out that a monotreme is a mammal that lays eggs. Mammals don't normally lay eggs, but there are a couple that do. The platypus is one of them, and the echidna is another. They're only found in Australia, the echidnas as well. Now, why is the platypus bill so important? Well, the platypus bill helps the platypus to find its way around. If you watch those videos, you'll know that they actually have their eyes closed most of the time when they're underwater, so they're not really looking where they're going. But they have a special sensor on the bill, and it senses electrical fields, and this is known as electrolocation. So this was something new to me. I'd never really heard of electrolocation before. I've heard of echolocation, which is something the bats do and other animals do. But the platypus, again, because it's such a crazy, unusual animal, of course it doesn't use its eyes like everybody else does. It decides to use its bill to find its way around using electrical signals. So very clever. Are they venomous? Yes, they are. Now, this is another thing that most mammals aren't. Most mammals don't produce venom. That's more something that usually snakes or insects do. But the male platypus does have a little sort of spike on his heel, and he can jab you with the spike if he's scared and he's trying to defend his territory. And that stab, apparently it doesn't kill a human, but it can be painful for months. So that's going to keep me out of the way of platypuses. I don't fancy getting a venomous sting from a platypus. And yes, it can kill small animals so that they can use that for when they're hunting. So where do you find platypus? Well, you find them in the eastern areas of Australia, which is the mainland of Australia. I think they're all the way from Queensland down to South Australia. And you also find them in Tasmania, but only on the eastern side, apparently not in the west of Australia. And what do they like? Well, they like freshwater rivers and riverbanks usually. And they like to eat, they're actually carnivores, and they eat things like worms and shrimp and crayfish. So I hope you learnt some interesting things. Now, I'm really sorry about this, but because I can only print in black and white, because I'm having a bit of a disaster with my computer at the moment, I'm not really able to find all these differences. I can see a couple. I can see that there's one of the animals is missing there, and that there's an animal that's popped up there. But the others are really kind of difficult to see in black and white, so I hope you've had a better job at spotting the differences. Apparently there are 5. And then that was our the dot to dot. And then our word search. Just have a quick look here. We have quite a lot of diagonal words this week. We had the word platypus. We had, what was that one? Brollies, We had ridiculous and build all going on the diagonal. Oh, I'm sorry, I've moved the phone there. Sorry, what am I doing? Then on the vertical going down, we just had the word rhyme. And then horizontally, we had trophies, duck names, and ukuleles. Okay, so, and then there was the handwriting practice. So I hope you enjoyed the duck-billed platypus. We have another super fun story for next week, which is There's a Snake in My School by David Williams. I know a lot of you will know some of David Williams' books, so we're going to try that one next week. So I hope you enjoy that, and thank you. See you next time. Bye.